all the information we're getting is clearly showing that there is a real humanitarian crisis going on in Gaza right now. We have people with no food, no water, no electricity, no heating in the middle of winter. We have numerous people who have had to leave their homes because their homes have been destroyed or too badly damaged to live in. So yes, we definitely believe that there is a real humanitarian crisis going on in Gaza.
What are your people being able to do to alleviate conditions and help people out?
Unfortunately, at the moment, they're able to do very little. It's incredibly dangerous to be out and about in Gaza at the moment with the fighting going on. One of our partner organisations, the Union of Health Work Committees, had one of their paramedics killed when the ambulance he was in was targeted by an IDF attack. So if it's not safe for health workers to be out in clearly marked ambulances, it just shows how dangerous it would be for aid workers to be out as well.
How convinced are you that we need a ceasefire as soon as possible?
We need one immediately. The humanitarian situation is deteriorating rapidly. Only a ceasefire will allow the humanitarian aid to get in and be delivered to the people that need it so desperately right now.
I mean, the Israelis say, look, they are still allowing aid certainly to be gathered on the border. I suppose the problem is for organisations like yours is even if that is allowed to happen, given the state of the fighting, given the chance of being hit from the air, you can't, as you've just been saying, that you can't get out on the ground and hand it out and take the stuff to the hospitals and the rest of it.
Yes, I mean, to be clear, there is a trickle of aid going in through the one crossing that's open. It's nowhere near enough to cope with the needs, but there is a real problem once we get it in to distribute it. You know, Gaza is a war zone. It's incredibly dangerous to move. Now that the IDF has split Gaza in two, the aid all comes into the south. The majority of the population is in the north. So there's now an extra blockade between where the aid goes in and where it's most desperately needed.
Is there anything people concerned about all this in this country can do to help you out? I mean, are you making appeals for money here to buy some aid? I know the big problem is getting it to the people.
Yes, people can donate to Oxfam on our website at www.oxfam.org.uk. If they go to the Gaza crisis page, there is a way to donate to us online. But more than that, people can push the governments to really apply pressure on both sides for an immediate ceasefire.
It's worth reflecting on, isn't it, that the situation in Gaza has been dire for some time. There's been a long-standing blockade by the Israelis, and we've heard reports for many months of malnutrition amongst the young and the rest of it.
Yes, Oxfam and numerous other international agencies actually published a report last March highlighting how the humanitarian situation in Gaza was already the worst it had been for 40 years. So we are talking about a very, very fragile society. And now these attacks on the civilian infrastructure are really damaging it to a point where we are looking at total collapse of some really very key basic services like health, water and sanitation.